Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron. Welcome back to my holiday 2019 box office predictions, and it's here. It's finally here. Ever since the first trailer for this movie dropped, I wanted to talk about it so bad. After months and months of waiting, it is here. It is coming out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to say that today we're talking about Cats, the movie adaptation of the Broadway musical. I haven't been this excited to talk about a movie since Joker, because ever since Joker, the schedule has just been filled with a bunch of sequels and reboots that nobody cares about, or just movies that never really got my interest. But this, though, this movie got all my interest, because ever since I saw that first trailer, seeing all those humanoid cats, I'm like, yes, I'm going to watch this. I don't care what anybody says. I'm watching this because this could be one of those movies that's just so bad, so creepy, so horrendous, and just so uncanny valley like that it could be a hilarious experience. And I cannot wait to see it for myself. But just because I'm excited, it doesn't mean everybody else is. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to go over the pros and cons of Cats. So let's get to it. Pros, the cast is pretty decent. I mean, you got James Corden, Judi Dench, Jason Derulo, Idris Elba, Jennifer Hudson, Ian McKellen, Taylor Swift, Rebel Wilson, and introducing Francesca Hayward. Most people know James Corden from his comedians in cars getting coffee thing he does on YouTube. That seems to be popular, I think. Uh, and he has musical experience. He was in the 2014 Into the Woods, so he has that. And you got Judi Dench, Jason Derulo. He's an R&B singer. Idris Elba. We all know who he is. Yeah, Jennifer Hudson. She won an Oscar for Dreamgirls, so she has musical experience. Ian McKellen, he's Magneto, Gandalf. He was in Beauty and the Beast. Taylor Swift, I don't need to explain who she is. You should all know. Rebel Wilson, she was in Pitch Perfect, so she has musical experience. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, the cast is pretty decent, I guess. Even though their box office their track records aren't that great, but I'll explain that later. Another pro is the director, Tom Hooper. If you forgot, he did the 2012 version of Les Mis, and that was the movie where Anne Hathaway won her Oscar. So again, he has experience too in the musical department. I mean, he does. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, it's good to put on the advertisements like, oh, this is the dude who made Les Mis. So, and that movie was a huge hit. So, makes sense to me. Another pro is just musicals in general are very popular nowadays. Probably the most popular they've ever been. Because, especially around this time, the holiday season. Because, I mean, this generation, for the holidays, you had musicals such as, Les Mis, Into the Woods. There was that Annie movie that nobody liked. um, Can I count Sing? Because that was more of a jukebox musical than a real musical. You screw it, I'm counting it. And then 2 years ago, The Greatest Showman, a movie that no one thought would be a huge hit, ended up being a huge hit. Despite having a very low opening weekend, it had some insane legs. Made 20 times its opening weekend, something that hasn't been done since the early 90s. It was crazy how big that movie was. And then last year you had Mary Poppins Returns, which did all right, but definitely didn't live up to high expectations considering it's the sequel to Mary Poppins, but it still did okay in the end. So yeah, musicals are very popular, especially around the holidays. Even in the summertime, movies like Hairspray and Mamma Mia, even the High School Musical movies And even the Disney remakes like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, even though those movies have problems, they were all successful. So because it's a musical, people might forgive its faults because people just love musicals. So there's that. And another pro slash con is that this movie could be just so odd and creepy and weird that people might get drawn in. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, it's like a train wreck where you just want to look away, but you can't. You want to see it. You want to see how it unfolds. And that's what this is. And there were like plenty of movies in history where people think, oh, this is going to be just the worst thing ever. I mean, look at the Sonic movie, the original Sonic movie, the one with the human teeth, the two small eyes, and the white hands instead of wearing gloves. That movie, if it came out when it was supposed to, like in November, I'm pretty sure a decent amount of people would have seen it just to see how horrible it would be. But thankfully, they pushed it back to February. They redid the design, and now the movie is in a much better position. But this, they didn't have a redesign. They went all the way with these cats, and now we're gonna see what happens. But now it's time to get to the cons. The reviews for this movie are just so horrible. Like, last I checked, it was at an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is just horrendous in any context. Like, that's horrid, especially for a movie that's about to come out, like literally in 2 days. It's at a 17% now. This is wonderful. Oh my gosh, it's bad. The reviews are just awful, which most people thought was gonna happen because the trailer reactions for this movie were also just atrocious. I mean, they were nowhere near as bad as the original Sonic movies, but they were still really bad. And that's mainly because of how creepy this movie looks. It's so disturbing and it's just so uncanny valley like. I mean, you probably heard the uncanny valley, like something that it's like, how do I describe it? It's like something that wants to be realistic. It tries so hard to be realistic, but it can't quite pull it off. So it's in that weird middle ground that just creeps everybody out. That's what this is. Like, you remember those mocap movies, those motion capture movies from like about a decade ago? Like Polar Express, Beowulf, A Christmas Carol, Mars Needs Moms. Remember how creepy those movies look? This is the same thing. Okay, not quite the same thing because it's still like live action actors. If this was a mocap movie, then this movie would be the ultimate nightmare fuel. Thank God they didn't go in that direction. But yeah, it just looks so creepy to general audiences that a lot of them are just going to be scared off by the look of it. And I don't really blame them. And just, well, the competition it has to face is Jumanji Next Level and Star Wars. I don't know if it's going to survive that. I mean, Star Wars and Cats, the audience for those two are quite different, so it won't be affected by that. But Jumanji is aimed more towards families than Star Wars, because Cats has a PG rating. So this is probably aiming towards families too. But I don't know how you're going to aim a movie towards families with all these naked humanoid cats. Like, what child is going to look at this and be like, oh yeah, yay, mommy, I get to see Taylor Swift's cat shake her boobs. That was in the trailer. Like, the second trailer, she was like, shaking, and then it showed like her cat boobs jiggling, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I watching? Just, like, I don't think kids are gonna be interested in this movie at all, because they're probably gonna have nightmares about this movie. But yeah, opening weekend, I don't know. I'm going to say 10 million. at the most 10 million. And overall, there's a small chance this could be another Greatest Showman where it has excellent legs, but again, I don't know. You have to wait and see what happens, after Christmas and New Year's. Well, right now, I'm gonna say it's gonna make like 50 to 60 million domestic, which would be pretty weak for really any movie, especially like considering how popular the musical genre is. That's low. And yeah, that's Cats, the most joyful film of the holiday season. At least that's what the poster says. Oh my god. And yeah, that's the end of that. Next up, the big one. Rise of Skywalker. I am ready to just tear that apart. Just like Cats, I'm ready to just dive deep into Rise of Skywalker. Can't wait to just talk about just the whole saga of these new Star Wars movies. I'm gonna explain it all in that video. And then after Star Wars, you got our Christmas movies. You got Little Women, Spies in Disguise, and it doesn't say it here, but Uncut Gems is coming out wide too. And that's the end of 2019. Oh man, this year has been quite the roller coaster, to say the least. So, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. Want to check out some of my other predictions? I have a holiday 2019 box office prediction playlist, like on the homepage. You can check those out. And yeah, that's all. I am out.